For Digital Detox, Hidden Productivity Secret, I want to start by asking you a simple question. When was the last time you sat in silence, without your phone, without checking emails, without notifications disturbing you? Most people cannot even remember. Every day, from the moment we wake up until the moment we go to sleep, we are connected. We are online. We are busy. We are scrolling, typing, replying, and refreshing. But let me tell you this, being busy does not mean being productive. This is the mistake that millions of people are making today. They think that checking messages, replying instantly, or being available 24 hours a day is what makes them successful. But in reality, it is the biggest trap. The truth is, if you're always online, you're always distracted. If you're always connected, you are never really focused. And without focus, there can be no true creativity, no innovation, and no real breakthrough in life. I learned this the hard way. In the early years, I thought success was about working non-stop, answering every call, being present in every meeting. But slowly, I realized something powerful. The more I was connected to the digital world, the more I was disconnected from myself. Every time I checked my phone, my attention was stolen. Every time I sat in front of the computer for too long, my energy was drained. I was surrounded by information, but I was losing wisdom. I was connected to everyone, but I was disconnected from my own thoughts. This is where the idea of a digital detox became a secret weapon. What is a digital detox? It is not rejecting technology. It is not about throwing away your phone or ignoring progress. No, it is about creating space. It's about protecting your mind. It is about stepping back from the noise so you can hear your own voice. Because here's the truth. The brain is like a field. If you keep planting seeds every day without giving the soil time to rest, the soil becomes weak, the crops become poor, and the land loses its power. But when you give it time, when you let it breathe, the soil recovers and it produces with more strength. Our mind works the same way. If we keep feeding it with endless notifications, constant news, and never-ending social media, it becomes tired. It becomes weak. It becomes shallow. But when we give it silence, when we give it time, when we disconnect, it starts to recover. And when it recovers, it creates ideas that are powerful, original, and unstoppable. Let me share a personal truth. Some of the best decisions I have ever made, some of the most creative ideas I have ever had, did not come from sitting in front of a computer or checking emails. They came when I was away. They came when I was walking, when I was reading a book, when I was having a real conversation with people, or when I was simply sitting quietly, thinking. This is why I say digital detox is not a weakness. It is a strength. People today think if they are offline, they are missing out. But let me tell you, when you are always online, you are missing out on yourself. You are missing out on your thoughts, your creativity, your vision. True productivity is not about how many hours you spend working. It is not about how many emails you send. It is about how clearly you can think, how deeply you can imagine, and how effectively you can make decisions. And none of this can happen if your mind is always distracted by screens. So my advice is very simple. Every day, find some time to disconnect. Turn off your phone, close your laptop. Step away from the digital noise. Use that time to reflect, to plan, to imagine. Talk to people face to face. Listen, observe, be present. At first it may feel strange. You may feel like you are missing something. But slowly you will see the difference. Your mind will feel lighter. Your thoughts will become sharper. Your focus will grow stronger. And then something magical will happen. You will start to see opportunities that you could not see before. You will start to connect the dots that were always there, but you were too distracted to notice. This is why I call it hidden productivity secret. Because while everyone else is running after more apps, more tools, more shortcuts, the real key is hidden in less noise, less distraction, less dependency. The power of silence, the power of reflection, the power of being present. This is what creates true success. So remember this, technology is a tool, not a master. Use it but don't let it use you. Connect with the world but don't disconnect from yourself. Because at the end of the day, the greatest connection you can ever make is not with a device, but with your own mind. That is the hidden secret of productivity. Constant connectivity equals constant distraction. Let me tell you something very important. Today, the biggest challenge we face is not a lack of information, not a lack of opportunity, and not even a lack of resources. The biggest challenge we face is distraction. We live in a time where everything is connected. The internet is everywhere. Our phones are in our hands from morning till night. Notifications follow us into our meetings, our dinners, even into our bedrooms. We have more tools to stay connected than ever before in history. But let me ask you, are we more productive or are we simply more distracted? I can tell you this from my own experience. In the early days, when technology started to become powerful, I believe, like many of you, that the more I stayed connected, the better I would perform. I believe that by answering emails immediately, by checking updates every hour, by being available at all times, I was being productive. But the truth I discovered is very different. Constant connectivity does not make you effective. It makes you exhausted. Think about your own life. How many times have you opened your phone to check just one message, and then 30 minutes later you realize you are still scrolling, still watching, still jumping from one app to another? How many times have you started your morning planning to focus on important work, but your day is consumed by answering small messages, small requests, small distractions? This is the trap of connectivity. It gives us the illusion of being busy, the illusion of being important, the illusion of being productive. But when you measure what you really achieved at the end of the day, you realize you have only reacted to other people's demands. You did not create, you did not innovate, you did not lead. You see, distraction is expensive. Every time you lose focus, your brain takes time to recover. Studies show that it can take more than 20 minutes to fully return to deep work after an interruption. Imagine how many times you are interrupted in one day. Imagine how much creative energy is lost. Not because you don't work hard, but because you allow distractions to break your focus again and again. This is why I say, constant connectivity equals constant distraction. Let me give you an example. In the early days, I used to receive hundreds of emails every day. At first, I felt proud. I thought, wow, so many people need me. So many people are asking for my attention. But then I realized if I spend my entire day replying to emails, I am not building the future. I am not solving problems. I am not thinking ahead. I am simply reacting. So I made a rule. I decided that I would not allow emails to control my day. I would check them at specific times, not every minute, and I would not reply to everything immediately. Because if I am always available for small things, I will never be available for big things. This is the mistake many young people make. They believe being fast, being available, being connected 24/7 is the way to impress. But leaders do not measure your value by how quickly you reply to a message. They measure your value by the quality of your ideas, by the depth of your work, and by the impact of your decisions. Connectivity is not a bad thing. Technology is not a bad thing. But when technology controls you, when connectivity controls your attention, you lose the one thing that is more valuable than money, more valuable than knowledge, more valuable than opportunity. That one thing is focus. And explain it this way. Imagine your mind is like a flashlight. When you focus it on one point, it becomes powerful. It can cut through dark, can reveal hidden paths. It can guide you forward. But when you spread that light in every direction, it becomes weak. It cannot guide you anywhere. That is what happens when you are always connected. You spread your attention everywhere, and in the end, you achieve nothing meaningful. I want you to remember something. The people who create change in this world, the people who build great companies, the people who invent new solutions, they are not the ones who check notifications every minute. They are the ones who know how to shut off the noise, how to concentrate deeply, and how to give their energy to the things that truly matter. So the first step to increasing your productivity is not working harder, not working longer, not adding more apps to your phone. The first step is protecting your focus from distraction. And that begins by controlling your connectivity. Ask yourself, do I need to check my phone 20 times in an hour? Do I need to be online until midnight? Do I need to respond instantly to every request? The answer is no, because the people who truly respect your value will respect your time. In fact, I have found that when you are less available, people respect you more. They come to you with real problems, not with small ones. They prepare better before they talk to you. They value your presence. Because they know your time is not cheap, your attention is not free. Now, I know some of you may think, but what if I miss out? What if I lose opportunities? Let me tell you this, opportunities are not lost because you disconnect for a while. Opportunities are lost because you are too distracted to see them clearly. You don't miss out by stepping away. You miss out by being so busy with small things that you ignore the big things. Let me share a personal practice. Every day, I dedicate certain hours when I do not check my phone. I do not open my email. I do not connect to the digital world. During this time, I focus only on thinking, reading, writing, and talking to people face to face. And I can tell you, those are the hours when I make the best decisions, when I see the clearest path, when I have the most powerful ideas. This is why I keep saying constant connectivity equals constant distraction, and distraction is the enemy of success. So my message to you is simple. Do not confuse busyness with productivity. Do not confuse availability with value. Do not let the digital world steal your focus. Protect it. Guard it, because your focus is your future. If you can learn to step back from constant connectivity, you will step forward into greater clarity, greater creativity, and greater success. That is the first secret to mastering productivity. Digital detox as a superpower. I want to share something with you that may sound strange at first. In today's world, people think power comes from being online all the time, from always being connected, from always being available. But I discovered something very different. The real power comes not from being connected, but from knowing when to disconnect. Yes, I am talking about the idea of a digital detox. Now many people hear this word and think it means rejecting technology, running away from progress, or living in the mountains without a phone. That is not what I mean. I do not reject technology. Technology is powerful. Technology changes lives. Technology opens doors. But here is the truth. When technology controls you, instead of you controlling it, you lose your greatest power. And that is why a digital detox is not a weakness. It is a superpower. Let me explain. Everywhere I go, I see people with their heads down, stare at their phones. In meetings, in restaurants, in airports, in cars, even when walking on the street, people are always looking at a screen. They are connected every second, and they believe this makes them more informed, more efficient, more important. But in reality, it makes them more distracted, more tired, and more dependent. I realize that if you never step away from the digital world, you will never truly see the bigger picture. You will always be reactive. You will always be consuming. You will always be busy. But you will never be free to imagine something new. That's why I say a digital detox gives you back your freedom. When you step away from the noise, something amazing happens. At first, you feel uncomfortable. You feel restless. You feel like you are missing something. But after a while, your mind starts to calm down. You start to hear your own thoughts again. You start to see patterns you did not notice before. You start to imagine new ideas, new solutions, new opportunity. And this is where the superpower begins. Let me share a personal story. There were times in my journey when I was overwhelmed. Too many emails, too many meetings, too many demands from everywhere. My head was full of noise. I was tired, but I thought I could not stop because everyone expected me to keep going. Then one day, I decided to take a step back. I turned off my phone for several hours. I left the office. I went for a walk. I spent time in silence. At first it felt strange. I kept thinking, what if I missed something important? But slowly I began to feel lighter. My mind began to breathe. And then ideas started coming clearer, stronger, more powerful than before. That is when I realized the power of a digital detox. It is like pressing the reset button for your brain. On. It is like giving water to a thirsty plant. It brings back life, creativity, and clarity. Most people think success is about doing more, working more, connecting more. But the truth is, success often comes from doing less, but with more focus. It comes from working smarter, not harder. And that is only possible when your mind is clear. A digital detox gives you that clarity. Think about it like this. Imagine your brain is like a computer. You open too many windows, too many programs, too many files, the computer becomes slow. It freezes. It cannot process. The only way to make it fast again is to close some windows, shut down unnecessary programs, and sometimes restart the system. Our minds are the same. When we are always online, always consuming information, always responding, our brain becomes overloaded. We lose speed, we lose sharpness. We lose creativity. But when we take a break, when we disconnect, it is like restarting the system. Suddenly, the brain is faster, sharper, clearer. That is why I say, digital detox is a superpower. Now, let me tell you something even more important. Digital detox does not only help your productivity, it also helps your relationships. Today, families sit together, but everyone is on their phone. Friends go to dinner, but instead of talking to each other, they are taking pictures for social media. People are connected to the whole world, but they are disconnected from the people sitting right next to them. When you put your phone down, when you disconnect, you begin to notice people again. You begin to listen. You begin to feel real emotions. You begin to connect with human beings, not just with screens. And this connection, real human connection, is the foundation of trust, love, and success. Some of the most meaningful conversations I have ever had happened not in video calls or emails, but in simple, quiet, face-to-face talks. And those conversations were only possible because I put technology aside and gave my full attention to the person in front of me. So I want you to remember this. Technology connects devices, but this connection connects people, and people are always more important than devices. But still, some of you may say, I cannot afford to disconnect. My business, my career, my life depends on staying connected. And I understand that. But here is what I have learned. Even the busiest people can create small moments of digital detox. You do not need to disconnect for months. Sometimes just 1 hour of silence can change your entire day. Start small. Maybe in the morning, do not check your phone the first thing after waking up. Spend that time with yourself, thinking, writing, planning. Or maybe before going to sleep, turn off your devices and allow your mind to relax. Or maybe during meals, put your phone away and give full attention to the people with you. These small actions create big changes. When you practice this regularly, you will feel the difference. You will feel stronger, calmer, more focused. You will discover ideas you did not know you had. You will connect deeper with the people who matter. And slowly, you will see that digital detox is not a waste of time. It is an investment in your time. Remember, the world is not going to stop if you disconnect for a while. But your mind might stop growing if you never disconnect at all. So I call this a superpower. Because in a world where everyone is addicted to their devices, the one who has the courage to step away is the one who gains real power. The power of clarity, the power of creativity, the power of focus, the power of connection. And when you have these powers, you can achieve things that constant connectivity will never give you. So my message is simple. Do not let technology master you. Master technology. Use it when it serves you, but do not allow it to consume you. Know when to connect and know when to disconnect. Because the greatest breakthroughs, the greatest ideas, and the greatest connections are waiting for you, not inside your phone, but inside your mind and your heart. That is why I say, a digital detox is not a weakness. It is not running away. It is not being left behind. A digital detox is a superpower. And when you discover this power, you will see the world differently. And you will see yourself differently. Deep thinking over shallow scrolling, I want to talk about something that I believe is one of the biggest problems of our time. We live in a world where information is everywhere. Every second, millions of posts, pictures, and videos are uploaded. We scroll endlessly. We consume endlessly. But let me ask you, how much of this information actually helps you grow? How much of this endless scrolling makes you wiser, stronger, or more creative? The truth is, most of it does not. It keeps us busy but not better. It keeps us entertained but not enlightened. This is why I say, choose deep thinking over shallow scrolling is easy. It gives us quick pleasure, small distractions, little bursts of entertainment. But deep thinking, that is hard. It takes time, it takes silence, it takes patience. But it is in deep thinking that real breakthroughs are born. Let me explain what I mean. When you are scrolling, you are moving fast. Your brain is jumping from one picture to another, one headline to another, one short video to another. You do not stop. You do not reflect. You do not ask questions. Your mind is full, but it is not deep. It is like eating junk food. You feel full for a moment, but you gain no nutrition. Deep thinking is different. Deep thinking is when you take one problem, one idea, one question, and you spend time with it. You sit in silence, you write it down. You turn it around in your head. You look at it from different angles. You allow your mind to explore deeply. And when you do this, something powerful happens. Your mind connects dots that scrolling never can. Some of the best decisions I have ever made, some of the most creative ideas I have ever had, came not from reading hundreds of articles or watching endless videos. They came from moments of deep thinking. When I stepped away from the noise and gave my mind space to work deeply. I remember many times when I faced big challenges and the answers did not come immediately. But when I allowed myself to sit quietly, when I gave myself permission to think without distraction, slowly, the answer became clear. That clarity never comes from shallow scrolling. It only comes from deep thinking. Think of your mind as a lake. When the water is disturbed, when it is full of waves, you cannot see what is below the surface. That is what happens when you are always stirring your mind with new inputs. But when the water is calm, when the surface is still, you can see clearly to the bottom. That is what deep thinking does. It creates calmness so you can see what is truly there. And let me tell you, this is not only about business or work. Deep thinking is essential for life. It helps you understand yourself better. It helps you make better decisions about your future. It helps you see what really matters beyond the noise of the world. When you spend all your time scrolling, you are living on the surface of life. You are chasing what everyone else is saying, what everyone else is showing. But when you think deeply, you begin to live your own life. You begin to hear your own voice. You begin to shape your own path. This is why the most successful people in history always valued silence, reflection, and deep thought. They understood that ideas need space to grow. They understood that creativity is not born in chaos, but in clarity. Today, young people tell me, I don't have time to think. I am too busy. And I tell them, if you do not have time to think, you will not have time to succeed. Because shallow scrolling wastes time. But deep thinking multiplies time. One good idea, one clear decision, one deep realization can save you years of effort. Let me give you an example. Imagine you are building a house. If you rush and start building without thinking, you may finish quickly. But later you discover the foundation is weak. The house will not last. But if you spend time thinking deeply about the design, the structure, the foundation, you may take longer in the beginning. But the house will stand strong for generations. That is the power of deep thinking. Now, I am not saying never scroll, never enjoy entertainment. But I am saying, do not replace deep thinking with shallow scrolling. Balance is important. Give yourself time every day. Even if it is only 30 minutes to sit quietly and think deeply. No phone, no notifications, no distractions, just you and your thoughts. At first it will feel uncomfortable. Because we are so used to filling every second with scrolling, with stimulation, with noise. But slowly you will begin to enjoy it. You will begin to see the power in it. You will begin to discover ideas you never imagined were inside you. I remember when I first started practicing this, it felt strange. My mind kept wanting to reach for my phone. But when I resisted, when I allowed the silence, my thoughts became clearer. And I realized this silence is full of ideas, full of creativity, full of wisdom. True wisdom. This is why I call deep thinking a superpower in itself. Because in a world where most people are addicted to shallow scrolling, the one who practices deep thinking will always be ahead. Deep thinking gives you an advantage that no app, no tool, no shortcut can give you. It gives you clarity. And clarity is what makes you powerful. So my advice is simple. Every day choose deep thinking over shallow scrolling. When you feel the urge to pick up your phone and scroll, ask yourself, will this make me wiser? Will this make me better, or is it just stealing my attention? If it is stealing your attention, put it down. Give that time to thinking, reflecting, creating. Because at the end of the day, shallow scrolling fills your mind, but deep thinking builds your mind. And the difference between success and failure, between average and extraordinary, is not how much you scroll, but how deeply you think. So remember this, shallow scrolling is common. Deep thinking is rare. Shallow scrolling gives distraction. Deep thinking gives direction. Shallow scrolling gives noise. Deep thinking gives wisdom. And in the long run, wisdom will always win. That's why I always choose deep thinking over shallow scrolling. And if you want to build something meaningful, if you want to live a life of impact, you must choose the same. Quality over quantity of work. I want to tell you something that completely changed the way I think about success and productivity. For many years, people believed that working longer hours, working more days, and doing more tasks was the secret to achieving great results. They believed that quantity was everything. The more you do, the more successful you will be. But let me tell you the truth I have learned. It is not about how much you do. It is about how well you do. Quantity may look impressive in the short term, but it is quality that creates long-lasting success. I used to believe in quantity. In the early days, I thought if I worked more hours than others, if I attended more meetings, if I sent more emails, if I pushed myself every single minute, I would achieve faster results. I thought that the person who works the most wins. But slowly, I began to realize something important. I was working hard, but I was not working smart. I was doing many things, but I was not always doing the right things. I was filling my day with activity, but not always with impact. And then it hit me, busyness is not productivity. You can spend 12 hours a day running from one task to another, and still end the day with nothing meaningful achieved. At the same time, you can spend 2 or 3 hours deeply focused on one important task, and achieve something that changes the direction of your entire business or your entire life. That is the difference between quantity and quality. Think of it like this. Imagine a chef who cooks one dish with full focus, full attention, and full passion. The flavors are rich, the presentation is beautiful, and the dish is unforgettable. Now imagine another chef who tries to cook 10 dishes in the same time. He rushes, he cuts corners, he pays no attention to detail. The result is average food, nothing memorable. Which chef do you think creates a greater impact? It is always the one who chooses quality over quantity. The same principle applies to work, to leadership, to creativity, and to life. When I look back at my journey, I see that the projects, the decisions, the ideas that truly mattered were not the hundreds of small tasks I completed every day. They were the few important things that I did with full focus and excellence. It was not about doing everything. It was about doing the right things and doing them well. This is why I tell young people, do not be proud of how busy you are. Do not measure your value by how many hours you work or how many emails you send. Measure your value by the quality of your contribution. Ask yourself, did I create something meaningful today? Did I solve a real problem? Did I move one step closer to my vision? Because at the end of the day, success is not about effort alone. Success is about results, and results come from quality, not quantity. Let me give you another example. Imagine a student preparing for exams. One student studies for 10 hours a day, but he is distracted, he is tired, he is only memorizing without understanding. Another student studies for 4 hours a day, but he studies with focus, with clarity, with understanding. Who will perform better? Most of the time, it is the second student, because it is not the hours that matter. It is the depth of focus, the quality of understanding. Work is exactly the same. So how do we move from quantity to quality? The first step is learning to focus on priorities. Not everything you do is important. Some tasks are urgent, but not meaningful. Some tasks make you feel busy, but add no real value. You must learn to identify what truly matters and put your best energy there. I do this every day. I ask myself, what is the one thing I can do today that will create the greatest impact? Not the 10 small things, not the 100 emails, but the one important thing. And when I find it, I give it my best energy, my full attention, my highest effort, and you know what happens? That one high-quality action often creates more progress than all the small busy tasks combined. The second step is learning to slow down. Many people think speed is everything. They rush through work, they cut corners, they move fast without thinking deeply. But speed without quality leads to mistakes, and mistakes lead to wasted time. Sometimes slowing down, paying attention to detail, thinking more carefully, actually helps you move faster in the long run, because you get it right the first time. The third step is caring about excellence. Quality requires care. It requires patience. It requires pride in your work. When you do something, do it with the mindset that it will represent you. Do it so well that people will remember it. Do it so well that you will feel proud of it. Because here is the truth. Average work is forgotten, but excellent work is remembered forever. I want you to think about some of the products you admire, the services you trust, the experiences you remember. They are not the result of rushing. They are the result of people choosing quality over quantity. They are the result of attention, of care, of excellence. And this is true not only in work but also in relationship. Sending 100 short, distracted messages to a friend is not the same as sitting with them for 1 hour with full attention. Spending many hours with your family while being glued to your phone is not the same as giving them 30 minutes of your undivided presence. Quality always matters more than quantity. So, if you want to be truly productive, if you want to be truly successful, stop chasing quantity. Stop trying to do everything. Instead, focus on doing the few things that matter most and doing them with excellence. Let me leave you with this thought. The world does not reward you for being busy. The world rewards you for creating value. And value is created not by quantity, but by quality. When you understand this, when you practice this, when you master this, you will see that your life changes. You will achieve more by doing less. You will feel more fulfilled, more focused, more impactful. Because in the end, success is not about how much you do. It is about how well you do what truly matters. And that is why I always choose quality over quantity of work. Stronger human connections. I want to share with you one of the most important lessons I have learned in my life. It is about connection. But not the kind of connection you find through Wi-Fi or social media. I am talking about human connection. It's the kind of connection that builds trust, that creates meaning, that gives life real value. Today, people are more connected than ever before in history. With one click, we can reach someone on the other side of the world. With one message, we can share our thoughts with thousands. With one post, we can show our lives to millions. But let me ask you, are we really connected, or are we actually more disconnected than ever? Look around you. Families sit together, but everyone is on their phone. Friends meet, but instead of talking, they are busy taking pictures for social media. Colleagues work in the same office, but they send each other emails instead of walking across the room to talk face to face. This is the paradox of our time. We are digitally connected, but emotionally disconnected. And this is why I believe that one of the greatest powers you can have today is the ability to build stronger human connections. Because in the end, success is not about how many followers you have, how many likes you get, or how many people know your name. Success is about how deeply you connect with people, how much trust you build, and how many lives you touch in a real way. I have seen this again and again. In business, deals are not closed because of emails or messages alone. They are closed because of trust. And trust is built through real human connection. In leadership, people do not follow you because you are the smartest or the most powerful. They follow you because they feel connected to you, because they believe you care, because they believe you listen. This is why I say, digital connection is useful, but human connection is priceless. Let me share a story. In the early years, when I was trying to build my vision, many people doubted me. They doubted my ideas. They doubted my abilities. They doubted the future I imagined. But what made the difference was not the technology we had, not the money we had, not even the plans we had. What made the difference were the people who believed in me, the people who trusted me, the people who stood by me. And that trust did not come from screens. It came from long conversations, from face-to-face meetings, from shared struggles, from real human connection. This is why I tell young people today, do not spend all your time building your digital presence. Spend more time building your human presence. Because in the end, the people who will stand with you in your journey are not the ones who liked your post. They are the ones who looked into your eyes and believed in you. But here's the problem. If we are always connected to our devices, we miss the chance to connect with people. If we are always staring at screens, we miss the chance to look into someone's eyes. If we are always busy replying to messages, we miss the chance to listen to someone's voice. This is why I believe digital detox is not just about productivity. It is about relationship. It is about putting your phone down and paying attention to the people around you. It is about choosing to listen, to care, to be present. Think about it. How many times have you been with someone but they were not really there? Their body was present, but their attention was on their phone. Did you feel connected? No. You felt ignored. You felt unimportant. And this is happening everywhere, every day. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine sitting with someone who puts their phone away, who looks into your eyes, who listens carefully, who gives you their full attention. How do you feel? You feel valued. You feel respected. You feel connected. That is the power of human connection. And here is the truth. In the long run, relationships are more important than transactions. People remember how you made them feel more than what you gave them. People may forget your words, but they will never forget your presence. This is why, even in business, I always tell my teams, focus on people, not just on profit. Profit will come and go, but relationships last. Technology will change, but trust remains. So how do we build stronger human connections in this digital age? The answer is simple. Be intentional. When you are with your family, be fully with them. Put your phone aside. Listen to them, share with them. When you are with your friends, do not just post pictures of your time together. Create memories by actually being present. When you are with your colleagues, do not just send emails. Have real conversations. When you are with your customers, do not just sell to them. Understand them, care for them. Because at the end of the day, what people want most is not information. They want connection. They want to feel seen. They want to feel heard. They want to feel valued. And when you give them that, you give them something technology can never replace. Let me tell you something else. Human connection is not only important for others, it is important for you too. When you truly connect with people, you feel more alive. You feel more human. You feel more fulfilled. Scrolling for hours may entertain you, but connecting deeply with people will enrich you. This is why some of the happiest moments in life are simple. Sharing a meal with family, laughing with friends, listening to someone's story, helping someone in need. These moments cannot be captured fully on a script. They must be lived. So my message is very clear. In a world full of digital noise, the real power belongs to those who can build stronger human connections. Do not let technology steal your relationships. Use technology as a tool, but never as a replacement for real connection. Because when the noise of technology fades, it is the strength of your human connections that will remain. And believe me, in the end, it is not about how much money you made, how many titles you earned, or how many followers you had. What matters most is how many lives you touched, how many people you connected with, and how deeply you cared. That is what makes life meaningful. That is what makes success lasting. So remember this, technology connects devices, but only people connect hearts. And it is the connection of hearts that will carry you through every challenge, every victory, and every stage of life. That is why I believe building stronger human connections is one of the greatest secrets for success. Balance equals sustained success. I want to share with you a truth that many people discover too late in life. A truth that is simple, but not easy to live by. And that truth is this. Success without balance is failure in disguise. You see, in today's world, everyone is running. Running faster, working harder, chasing more money, more power, more recognition, more followers. But ask yourself, what happens when you achieve all of this, but you lose your health? What happens when you build a career, but destroy your relationship? What happens when you become rich, but you feel empty inside? That is not real success. That is an illusion. Because true success is not about how high you climb, but about how well you balance. Balance is not about doing less. Balance is about doing the right things at the right time. Balance is not about avoiding work. Balance is about working with purpose while also giving time to your health, your family. Balance is about harmony. Between ambition and peace, between progress and presence, between achievement and joy. This is why I believe digital detox is not just about productivity, not just about focus, not just about energy. It is about balance. Because when you put your phone down, you create space, not only for work, but for life. Let me explain. Many people today think success means sacrificing everything for work. They believe if they do not answer emails at midnight, they will fall behind. They believe if they do not post every day, they will be forgotten. They believe if they take a break, they will lose their chance. But this thinking is dangerous. It leads to burnout. It leads to stress. It leads to regret. I've seen so many talented people destroy their own potential. Not because they were not smart, not because they were not capable, but because they lost balance. They worked so hard that they lost their health. They chased so much that they lost their family. They achieved so much, but they lost themselves. Is that worth it? No. This is why I always remind people, life is not just about work. It is about living. You need time to rest. You need time to think. You need time to love. You need time to enjoy. Because if you only know how to work, but you do not know how to live, then you are not successful. You are only surviving. Think about it. When was the last time you sat down with your family without checking your phone? When was the last time you walked outside without brushing? When was the last time you read a book not for work but for joy? When was the last time you gave yourself permission to nothing? If you cannot remember, maybe you are living without balance. Then here is the truth. Balance is not a luxury. Balance is a necessity. Without balance, you cannot sustain success. You may achieve something for a short time, but you will not last for the long run. Look at nature. Day and night, work and rest, growth and renewal. Everything in nature works in cycles of balance. If nature needs balance to thrive, why do we think we can live without it? This is why I encourage people to practice digital detox. Not just to become more productive, but to become more balanced. To create space for what really matters. To make sure that while you are building your career, you are also building your health. While you are chasing your dreams, you are also caring for your family. While you are working hard, you are also living fully. Because the truth is, no matter how much you achieve, if you do not have balance, you will not be happy. Let me share something I have observed. The happiest people I know are not the richest. They are not the most famous. They are not the ones with the biggest companies or the biggest houses. The happiest people are those who live with balance. They work hard, but they also rest well. They earn money, but they also spend time with family. They pursue goals, but they also enjoy small moments. They succeed, but they also live. And this is the secret. Balance is the key to sustained success. Because success without balance will eventually break you. But success with balance will sustain you for life. So how do you find balance in this noisy, fast, competitive world? The answer is discipline. Balance is not given to you. You must create it. You must choose it. You must protect it. Set boundaries. Do not let your phone control your life. Do not let notifications steal your time. Do not let the pressure of always being online destroy your peace. Learn to say no. Learn to rest. Learn to disconnect. Schedule time not only for work, but also for family, for health, for hobbies, for yourself. Treat these things as important as your meetings and deadlines, because they are. In fact, they are more important. Remember this, your company can replace you, but your family cannot. Your job can replace you, but your health cannot. The world can move on without you, but your own life cannot. That is why you must protect balance at all costs. And here is something important. Balance does not mean equal time. It does not mean spending the same hours on work, on family, on yourself. Balance means giving the right attention to the right thing at the right time. Some seasons will require more work. Some seasons will require more family. Some seasons will require more rest. And that is okay. Balance is not about harmony. And harmony is what gives life beauty. So let me remind you again, success without balance is not true success. It is an illusion that will collapse sooner or later. But success with balance that is real, that is lasting, that is fulfilling. And when you practice digital detox, when you choose to put down your phone, when you choose to disconnect from the noise, you are not just saving time. You are creating balance. You are making room for life. You are making room for love. You are making room for the things that truly matter. Because in the end, no one will remember how many emails you answered, how many hours you worked, or how many followers you had. What they will remember is who you were, how you treated people, how you lived your life. And if you live with balance, then you will leave behind not just success, but also peace, joy, and love. So my message to you is very simple. Chase success, but protect balance, work hard, but live fully. Build your career, but also build your life. Because only when you have balance can you achieve sustained success. Balance is not the enemy of ambition. Balance is the foundation of lasting achievement. Never forget. Digital detox, the hidden secret of lasting success. So my friends, we have walked together to a journey of truth. We have talked about the noise of technology, the illusion of constant connection, the importance of protecting focus, the gift of silence, the renewal of energy, and finally, the secret of balance. And if you truly listen, you will realize something very important. The greatest secret of productivity, the greatest secret of creativity, the greatest secret of success. It is not about working harder, it is about working wiser. It is not about being connected all the time. It is about knowing when to disconnect. Because here is the reality, your phone is a tool, not your master. Technology should serve you, not control you. Social media should inspire you, not consume you. Work should grow you, not destroy you. That is why digital detox is not weakness, it is strength. It is not about escaping reality. It is about reclaiming it. It is not about rejecting technology. It is about controlling it. You put your phone down, you pick your life up. When you disconnect from the noise, you reconnect with yourself. When you give yourself time to rest, you give your dreams the strength to rise. And when you choose balance, you choose a life of true success. Because in the end, no one will measure your life by the hours you spent online, or the posts you made, or the emails you answered. They will measure your life by the impact you created, the love you gave, and the joy you lived. So remember this, the secret is not in the screen, it is in the silence. The power is not in endless connection. It is a meaningful disconnection. The success is not in doing more, it is in living better. And this is the hidden productivity secret I want you to carry with you today. Disconnect to reconnect. Detox to grow. Balance to succeed. If you can master this, then not only will you become more productive, not only will you become more creative, you will also become more human. And that, my friends, is the greatest success of all.